I was scrolling to Twitter and I found this post from Top Gyaru, Maririn, or call it. Basically says, you can Konami all you want, but they are the only game developer with enough balls to put a girl with a womb tattoo in a Bomberman game. And at first I thought it was a fake, or something, some sort of mod or modification. But no, apparently this is a real game, and this is a real loot screen that you can get. I will scroll down to see the comments and give more context, but there's some freaky shit in there, so I just made my own research. First I wanted to talk about the Bomberman game, because we all know Bomberman, and we all know, the guy. We all know this little guy, but we might not know the origins of this guy. So Bomberman, also known as Dina Blaster in Europe, is a video game franchise created by Shinji Nakamoto and Shigeki Fujiwara, originally developed by Hudson Soft and currently owned by Konami. The original game, also known as Bakudon Otoko Bomberman, was released in Japan in July 1983 and has since spawned multiple sequels and spin-off released in numerous platforms, as well as several anime and manga adaptations. Of course, original release was in 1983, and the original Bomberman actually had the guy looking like this. We're gonna get into that in a second. But yeah, we all know the game. It's a puzzle game. You place bombs and you break bricks and you'll defeat enemies. So you can also play multiplayer, all this sort of stuff, right? Also, side note, for some reason, the Bomberman Spanish section has this sort of bomb thing. Someone should check into that. I don't know if that's intentional. If it is, well. Anyways, Bomberman has had a load of different games, including the one that sparked today's conversation, which is Bombergirl right here. It has had many different games that you can actually scroll through. You probably never even heard of most of these before. I don't even know that many Bombermans. I know the Switch one, and I know I think there was a GameCube one. But yeah, there's been a many of them. But I just wanted to talk about the first one because I wanted to know how it actually started, because this was the actual how Bomberman actually looked like on release. Robot or like armor guy with all sorts of different bombs around him, had a helmet and stuff, which actually changed quite a bit on the actual box. Let's say you can actually see the face in here, the visor and the helmets is a bit different. This is how the title looked like. You also have the gameplay, you also have all the ending screens. Congratulations, Bomberman becomes runner. See you again in Load Runner. I don't know if that's another game that they were promoting or anything. Congratulations, you have succeeded in helping Bomberman to become a human being. Maybe you can recognize him in another Hudson Soft game. Goodbye. So they were basically pushing another game on the end of this game. Yeah, so they were basically pushing this other game that they were making. And I don't actually know this game, so I had to look it up. And it's actually the game that it says right here, Load Runner. On this game, I don't know what the game is about. It seems like some sort of early platformer. I don't really know much about this game. But I wanted to show a bit of gameplay about the... What the fuck are you doing here? I want to show a bit of gameplay about the Bomberman NES game from the Nintendo Complete YouTube from 5 years ago, this video. Basic balloons, very basic graphics, right? You have to defeat all the enemies. Not entirely sure what the object of this game is. Never actually played Bomberman single player, not gonna lie. Then you get to the door and you get to the next level. And yeah, stuff like this. And this is just all the game. And basically just keeps having different enemies. I guess the last level is level 50. Then you get to the game. You have succeeded in helping Bomberman to become a human being. Maybe you can recognize him in another Hudson Soft game. Goodbye. But anyways, that's the early Bomberman, the NES Bomberman. And the most recent one, I think, the Switch release, Super Bomberman R. Also this gameplay from X-Cage Game. And it's just basically the same gameplay as the NES that we saw before. Same power-ups, same enemies, maybe a bit more difficult, better graphics, and maybe a bit more variety on the power-ups. But it's basically the same game, right? It's the same structure. You have to get to the next stage. And this is pretty much what the Bomberman games have been for quite a while. They stay pretty consistent. There's obviously some spin-offs. And then you have Bombergirl, which is basically the same game, but with anime girls. Yeah, the gameplay is pretty much the same. This is from Rokudeyo, PC Open Beta gameplay. It's basically pretty much the same game. It just has anime girls in it. And you can pick and choose anime girl you want to. And you can pick and choose whichever anime girl you want to pick. Pretty much the same game. It's multiplayer, I think. I'm not sure if it has a story mode like the other ones. Pretty much the same gameplay, just with anime girls. It seems like Japan just does everything into anime girls for no particular reason. And you might be asking yourself, okay, but how do we get from this to something like this? Well, there's something particular about this game, which is basically when you get defeated, when your health drops to 0, for whatever reason, there's this banner that appears with whatever character it is that you're using, with the close damage, and of course, because Japan can, Japan will. It's just Bomberman, but with girls, and there's fan service on it. But it got my attention because it seems that for some reason, whenever Japan has the option to turn something into an anime girl, they will absolutely 100% do it. And apparently, there's even a name for this, which is MoAnthropomorphism or Moe Gijinka. It's a form of anthropomorphism in anime, manga, and games where Moe qualities are given to non-human beings such as animal, plants, supernatural entities, and fantastical creatures, object, concepts, or phenomena. So yeah, there's this concept to basically turn anything into an anime girl. You can see an example right here. Wikipedia, I don't know how to say that, Wikipedia, but in anime girl. A combination of the Japanese word by Wikipedia and the friendly suffix for children, tan, is a Moe anthropomorph of Wikipedia. Yeah, so this is an example of Moe anthropomorphism, or as I like to call it, and probably most of the internet also call it because there's a meme about it, the Japanizing beam, where you take whatever concept it is that you're thinking about and you turn it into an anime girl. For example, this is
Quetzalcoatl.
So yeah,
Quetzalcoatl.
it's a deity in Aztec culture and literature. Among the Aztec, he was related to winds, Venus, sun, merchants, arts, craft, knowledge, and learning. He was also the patron god of the Aztec priesthood. He was one of the several important gods in the Aztec pantheon, along with the gods
Tlaloc, Tezcatlipoca,
and
Huitzilopochtli.
they basically do this every year. You have a deity, anime girl. You have an animal, anime girl. You have planets, moon, anime girl. Heck, even omens in Japan, anime girls. So post-editing Polarians here. There's even a Gijinka series for search engines or web explorers, or whatever you want to call it. This particular one is actually talking about Internet Explorer, and this webtoon is basically talking about the daily life of all these web explorers. And in true Internet Explorer fashion, the very first panel of the series is Internet Explorer just basically getting rejected and just opening it up just to search for download Google Chrome. Very, very relatable. And the series basically talks about a bunch of different search engines. You have Internet Explorer, you have Firefox, and even here you have DuckDuckGo, Google Chrome, Dark Web, Thor, all this sort of stuff. But yeah, I just found this interesting. If you want to check it out, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Back to the video. I am sure if you look long enough, you'll find that anything has been turned into an anime girl, if not in anime, manga, or games, or visual novel, whatever sort of media you talk about. You can find it online on the internet by fan arts and people that draw all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about this. I'll see you in the next video.